In their conversation there was a pleasing breath of impossibility that showed them to be as yet little acquainted with the restrictions of mortal life. "I am going to be an engineer when I grow up," stated the boy, "but I'm not going to be a man. I'm going to be a mother. My name isn't Benny." "What is your name?" the girl asked, without surprise. "I'm Nellie." "Well, then I won't be Martha. I'll be Rosie, and you're my little sister." She was in a kindly mood, which might not last. Only so long as the current of her dream flowed smoothly would Martha be good. The interruption came quickly. "No, I am your big sister. I am not little at all. Auntie Van Doyne says I'm getting bigger every day." "All right, then. I shan't play with you," quoth Martha, crisply, and stalked ahead, as naughty as her mother had described. And then Anna saw Mary, who had silently left her side, stoop over and apparently whisper softly to the cross little face surmounted by its wisp of a topknot. Martha stopped, finger in mouth, to kick the sand with her toe and look with sidelong friendliness at Benny as he arrived panting. Then they went on, once more in amity, their short arms stretched about each other's waists, and their mother kept beside them, still whispering in their ears and kissing them. Yet they did not turn to her or answer. "I hope Mother'll bring us some paints," Martha was saying, as they passed beyond hearing. "If she does, I'll make her a picture of an engine," Benny joyfully planned. "Mary!" cried Anna. She was surprised to feel that she was trembling, not that she was in any way afraid. She could not have said what had so shaken her. No longer seeing her friend, she laughed and said aloud, "Oh, she must have gone into the house ahead of them." A slower step was now coming up the bluff stairs, and there appeared a figure in professional white, strong and purposeful, but for the moment rather weary and thoughtful. Miss Marston stepped forward. "Good evening, Mrs. Van Doyne. I was coming over to see the Barkley children." The troubled face was crossed by a flash of joyful surprise and relief. "Oh, do you know them? I am so thankful. I wish I'd known before. I've been nearly frantic. Of course, then you know." She took a twist of yellow paper from her belt and handed it to Anna Marston, who did not open it, but trembled very much as she looked at Mrs. Van Doyne, in whose fine, wise eyes the tears glistened and brimmed over unheeded. Tears were something in which Mrs. Van Doyne's code were a matter to be disregarded, like any other physical weakness in a person who never allowed herself to be sick. "I haven't told them, of course. I shall put it off as long as I possibly can. She worked herself to death." She broke off with a burst of that kindly anger to which the very good and just are so easily stirred. Her heart wasn't strong, and the heat finished her. The telegram came this afternoon. "I can't tell you how glad I am to find that you are her friend." So far as I can make out, she had no relatives. She spread out her hands with a sort of desperation. "I do what I can." Anna had heard tales enough to know that "what I can" meant an amazing amount of work without return in money, that it meant great kindliness, of which advantage was often taken by weak and selfish people. Not that Mrs. Van Doyne ever told. Nevertheless, it had got about that one of the babies had never paid its board since it was a month old, yet you could have not guessed which one was the delinquent by any difference between its care and that of old Top, or little Marasmus, for example, whose parents came and went in limousines, loaded down with all sorts of expensive, foolish toys, whose wardrobes were all silken fine, and who, when they grew up, would be very high and mighty folk indeed. Old Top, certainly. Marasmus in all probability, though that was going to be pretty brisk and delicate work for a while. "Since you are a friend," went on Mrs. Van Doyne, "perhaps you can tell me what to do. I'm not talking about the immediate present. They are here, and they are dear children. Though that Martha is certainly a handful," she half laughed through her tears. "But there is so much future. What about the years and years?" Anna Marston was still shaking, as though through the heat an icy wind had blown upon her. Once more she was aware of Mary Barkley, vividly aware, but this time it was not with her physical eyes that she seemed to see her. There was no further illusion, if it had been an illusion, of that indistinct figure bending above those little unconscious heads, touching them, kissing them, enveloping them, like a bird hovering over its nest. Instead, there was, as it were, an inward vision. She and Mary Barkley were again face to face, but it was not in any way a pitiful entreaty for charity which she read in her friend's eyes. Rather, it was a command. "Dear Mrs. Van Doyne," said Anna, trying to bring her voice under control, "Mary Barkley knows that I am ready to take her place. She knows I want them, both of them, more than anything else in the world." The first sigh of the coming coolness breathed past them from the sea. It was like the long breath of one who, after great restlessness, turns at last to sleep. End of The Substitute, a short story by Georgia Wood Pangborn, from the Harper's Monthly, December 1914. Read by Jennifer Dahlman.